How's it going?
Meeting of the Historic Franklin Zoning Commission. I'd like to call the meeting to order at this time. I will first entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the May 13th, 2024 meeting. Thank you, Tyler. Do we have thank you. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, unanimous. All right, staff, do we have any announcements? I suspect we do.
We do. So next Monday, we have a regularly scheduled design review committee meeting, and it'll start at 4 o'clock. As we sent an email beginning of last week that the Building and Neighborhood Services authorized emergency actions at 231 Public Square for some of the coping at the top of the building, and so they're trying to remedy to see what the next steps are, and so we'll keep you all in the loop if they do decide to do replacement or if it's going to be in-kind replacement. And then the last comment that we have is that there was a commission's legal meeting from our law department that was scheduled for June 26th. It has been canceled, and they're going to be sending out a link to everyone if they didn't make the earlier meeting earlier in this year. So be looking out for that email here soon.
Great,
Thanks.
thank you. Okay, next we have citizen comment, and this is a time where the floor is open for any citizens who wish to be heard on an issue or concern. It doesn't have to be related to anything on tonight's docket. If you'd like to speak on a specific item on our agenda tonight, we would ask that you wait until the citizen comment period for that particular time. For anybody who wishes to make a citizen comment, whether it be on a specific item or generally, if you'll fill out a speaker card at the back of the room and provide that to staff. And then when it is your time, come up to the microphone, state your name and address, and we ask that you limit comments to 2 minutes. So with that said, is there any citizen comment this evening, not on a specific item? Okay, all right. Now, we are moving on. So we're on to the regular agenda. And the first is going to be considerations of alterations at 99 East Main Street. And this is one that I am going to step out for if I could and recuse myself. And so, Madam Vice Chair, would you please be good enough to take over the agenda for me? Thank you.
Would you mind sharing your notes with me?
I'll give you my notes.
Thank you. Okay, the staff presentation, Emily.
Yes. So the proposal is to alter the wall on a recessed top floor of the building to accommodate a window opening for a pass-through window and alter the doorway. There is an existing opening for a double door, and the intent is to widen the door entrance to allow for a window to be located to the left of the double door. The alteration to the wall is located on a recessed wall that is set back from the exterior wall of the building and has minimal visibility from the street. Below the window opening, wood will be utilized. Staff recommends approval with conditions. Thank you.
Madam Vice Chair, I recused on the wrong one.
That's what I thought, but
I got my street numbers mixed up. Thank you.
there you go.
Okay, I'll stay for this one. All right, would the applicant like to make any comments? Sure. Okay.
I think you guys covered it, but again, here for any questions.
Great, thank you. Thank you. All right, are there any citizens who wish to speak on this application? Okay, seeing none, I will entertain a motion.
I would move to approve with staff comments.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Any discussion? We've had a lot of discussion on this one in the past. Any-
Well, I would just say it's been a journey of the applicant. Appreciate your patience and working through it with us, and I think we landed where we needed to, so thank you.
Yep, great. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that's unanimous. Thank you.
Job
We do
well
appreciate
done.
you. Okay, on to the next item, which is consideration of alterations accessory at 1003 Fair Street. Emily?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The existing structure is historic and is located 1 foot from the property line. The shifting of the structure and the addition has previously been approved, but to meet the requirements from the Building and Neighborhood Services Department, detached garages located within 2 feet of a lot line are permitted to have a roof eave not exceeding 4 inches. Currently, the structure is located 1 foot from the property line, and the roof overhang is approximately 6 inches. The proposal is to reduce the overhang by 2 inches on the rear of the structure so it comes into compliance with the International Building Code. Due to this alteration being located on the rear of the structure, it will not be seen from street view and therefore meets the intent of the guidelines. Staff recommends approval of the application with conditions.
Thank you. Mr. McCreary, here we
Yes.
are. Any comments or presentation?
I mean, I can go on a presentation if you want one, but I don't think I have any comments at this time.
Okay, all right. Are there any citizens who wish to comment on this application? Seeing none, do we have a motion?
Move to approve the staff conditions.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Bob. All right, any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, unanimous. We're on a roll.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you, Ben.
Okay, all right, item next is consideration of alterations, door replacement at 113 Second Avenue South, St. Philip's Catholic Church, and Elizabeth. This one's yours.
Thank you. So this proposal includes the in-kind replacement of a set of doors located on a recessed wall that is highly visible from Main Street and is located behind the statue in the courtyard. The existing non-historic metal door is proposed to be replaced due to maintenance issues. The proposed replacement door maintains the 6-panel design and materiality of the existing door. Staff recommends approval with conditions.
Great.
Thank you.
Kim, you got anything for us?
Nothing else to say.
Okay, thanks. Are there any citizens who wish to comment on this application? Okay. Do we have a motion?
Move to approve, Mr. Chair, with staff conditions.
Thank you, sir. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mary. All right, any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, unanimous again.
Good job.
Thank you. Okay, the next item on our agenda is consideration of new construction accessory and driveway alterations at 316 Bridge Street. And this is you, Emily.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The current application includes the construction of a new 1,010 square foot accessory structure. This application was deferred at the March 2024 Historic Zoning Commission meeting due to a lack of information. For the placement and orientation of the structure, will be situated on the rear right corner of the lot behind the principal building. The guidelines recommend locating accessory structures behind the rear plane of the principal building and orienting an accessory structure's front facade to be parallel with the principal building front facade and place them in traditional locations in line with other visible accessory structures in the district. The location of the proposed structure is not in a location that was historically accurate to the site or that is seen with the other accessory structures within the district. The previous location of the historic accessory structure was located near the driveway. It would be appropriate to have the new accessory structure where the previous structure was located, or to position the structure at the end of the driveway behind the principal building to align with the design guidelines. For the building form, as proposed, the accessory structure meets the intent of the guidelines for building form and the zoning ordinance for building footprint. For the materials, The proposed materials of the new accessory structure will be a lap siding and an asphalt shingle roof. Within the application, it is noted that the windows will be a Pella Reserve wood and aluminum clad windows. A sample of this window was brought to the May Design Review Committee meeting where there was support for its historic form and detailing. The materials are appropriate and supported by the guidelines. For the driveway alterations and the walkway, the proposal includes extending the existing driveway and adding a new path or walkway around the new accessory structure. The existing driveway is gravel, and the extension to the new accessory structure will be situated behind the principal building, which would be appropriate. It appears that the design of the driveway extension will utilize a ribbon driveway pattern. The use of a gravel driveway extension is appropriate within the guidelines, but it should not utilize a ribbon driveway pattern to align with the recommendation of the guidelines. The use of a ribbon driveway is not utilized as the main driveway design and would be introducing a new design that may not be historically accurate to the building and site. It would be recommended that the existing driveway design be continued on the new portion of the driveway and that the same gravel material be utilized. Staff recommends that the application be denied on the following grounds. One should orient an accessory structure's front facade to be parallel with the principal building's front facade and place them in traditional locations in line with the other visible accessory structures in the district. If the Historic Zoning Commission should approve the application, there are some suggested recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, would the applicant like to come forward?
Actually supposed to be. Here I am.
Here you are. Oh,
There you go.
I think you
Here he
got
comes.
perfect timing.
Sorry.
Thank you.
I apologize.
Hey. Perfect. Eric.
So we made a couple of changes on behalf of the last meeting. And I tried to add a couple of things that you guys had talked about and try to get a mix of that. We added the from the previous meeting submittal, we removed the or reduced the pitch of the dormer, and that's on page E1. Keep on, yeah, right there. So we reduced that dormer, or the gable, I'm sorry, on that side. We talked about removing that dormer, and then there was some comments back on the previous submittal that said that it probably would look all right if we had left it there. And I think there's on E2, it has the has kind of the face view of it. You can see on the previous submittal we had a little bit higher pitch on that dormer, and so thinking that that would probably fit better with the windows on that side. But yeah, we, some of you weren't here at the design review, but we did adjust the windows to the taller proportion as was requested. And then we put a driveway back there, so it felt like it was more in place with where it should be. That's on the that's on the front page there, right there. So we extended the driveway back to kind of meet that location. And then we also, on the very back page of the plans, we found a couple of examples that had the same conditions in this sort area, West Main Street, that had the garage that kind of set behind the house. So, and then I did also put in what windows we would use. That was the one that we had talked about in the reserve wood and aluminum clad by Pella.
Great.
So, and again, I apologize for being late. I was trying to print these out, and I
No
just
worries.
thought you guys would be a little bit later. So,
No,
Was there any questions or anything that I missed? I apologize.
No, you're
No,
you're
nothing.
fine.
Okay.
We just gotten staff's report, so.
Okay.
Okay, are there any, thank you, Eric. Yeah, are there any citizens who would like to comment on this one? Okay, all right, seeing none, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve with conditions, and my reason for going against staff recommendation is because placing this accessory structure in a traditional location for this particular piece of property, in my opinion, it would not be possible or would not accomplish what we would want to see from the street view.
Okay,
I'll second that, Mr. Chair.
okay, very good. Any discussion?
The discussion I think I would have would be under one of the conditions that have to do with the driveway. And so I do have a question for the applicant, if you would like to come back to the podium. No, the architect.
Oh, me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes.
And that has to do with what I'm seeing on, this is page 3 of the plans.
Okay.
So it looks to me like the way, so the driveway currently is gravel, as I understand it.
Yes, it is.
And what I'm seeing is it looks like that there is kind of a swoop, looks like it goes almost to the property line and then comes back. Did you plan to put all of that in gravel, or was that going to be in concrete? What was your plan?
So, that existing, so the only thing that we added in the driveway was kind of where the back deck starts, where it's kind of got the little space between the driveway. And that probably would be gravel, just continue the gravel. All of it's gravel right now, and so the thought was that it was probably just going to continue in gravel.
So currently, the way the drive works, it fills in all that space. It almost looks like it goes to the property line as a long, very wide area. Is that how it is today?
Yes, the driveway is what is currently all of this space right here is the driveway. And so we weren't planning on changing any of that currently.
And what I was going to just say in supporting staff on that condition for the traditional drive, currently, the way it's positioned, it looks like it's going to be a little difficult. You have to drive into that spot and then back out and then turn around to come out. I think if you were to follow the staff's recommendation and take your drive back a little further straight,
Okay.
and then be able to back into that pad that you've currently got and then pull forward, I think it would be a better design and be easier to get a car in and out.
Okay. Yeah, we're happy to make some adjustments to the driveway.
Okay,
Is that an amendment, Mr. Chairman?
I think that you're fine.
It's part of the staff recommendations.
Recommendation, okay.
Yeah, that was my understanding.
But I
That's
just needed
already covered.
clarification on how large this drive is.
Yeah, okay. Any other discussion points?
Just question about the orientation of the proposed structure. Should we not want that rotated 90 degrees so the front faces the same direction as the front of the existing house? Because it looks like it's 90 degrees off if I'm looking at the front door, if you compare the two structures.
Yeah, the front faces the side, correct, Eric?
The front, the majority, like the majority of the porch faces the front, or the back of the house, and so yes, the door does face the side yard.
Right. Do you want to offer an amendment on that, or do you
Well,
want
I'm
to think through
throwing
that?
it out for overall discussion. Should we be looking at that orientation and commenting on it? Because that was one of the things that staff brought to our attention, that
Yeah.
it was
I
not
mean-
per guidelines.
I'll weigh in here and wade in a little bit. I have a problem with the location, and I don't think that's any surprise from the prior meetings in DRC. And with all due respect to the stated reason for the motion, we do know that a structure, the accessory structure was just there and had been demolished. So we know it's been in that location before. So I'm not going to be able to support the motion because I think that the location of the proposed accessory structure's not in keeping with the guidelines and what we know. So I'd support staff's recommendation on that, but that's.
believe that we're trying to split the middle on this, because I think we had a little bit of opinion on both sides of that, and was thinking that because it's not matching what old structure was, that we would, from what I could understand from the board, that maybe having it behind the house so you don't see a structure that wasn't what was like originally there, that it would be preferred to be more hidden behind the home than something newer to be seen from the road. So that's,
Any further discussion?
Well, Mr. Chair, I would like to get some clarification on what is the front. Because from the way I read the plans, the main gable faces, of course, the back of the house, which would face the main street, which is Bridge. So how are we defining what is the front?
There's no door on that.
So it's the door that's the issue.
Front of the house should
That
have a front door.
identifies the front.
Right. Yeah, the door and the windows are all facing the side. They're not facing the front.
So if the door were to face the front toward Bridge Street, would that solve the issue of the orientation of the house?
Is that a question for staff?
That's a question
Yeah,
for
okay.
staff.
I think our concern was the location of the structure and how it aligns with the guidelines about how it was positioned, you know, more in line with the driveway and kind of up against the fence. That was our concern.
Okay, thank you.
I have had garages or accessory structures approved with the door facing the side of the property before, so I was surprised to hear that comment right now.
Yeah,
So-
there's quite a few jurisdictions that don't allow doors to face the front because it's not supposed to be a primary structure. It's not supposed to be a second house on the property. It's an accessory structure, so, I mean, I can think of 4 or 5 big historic jurisdictions that require that in their guidelines. I thought it was intentional based on that, oh, it's not supposed to look like another house. It's supposed to look like it belongs to the primary residence. So I had assumed that was intentional the whole time.
Mr. Chair, I would support the variance to put it behind the house for the reasons that were stated. It's not a historic structure. This is such a jewel of architecture downtown, and so I'm good with just focusing on that contributing property.
All right. Any further comments or amendments proposed? Okay. All right. All in favor of the motion to approve with staff conditions, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? That's me. So that passes 7-1. All right. Thank you. Okay, we're on to the next item, which is consideration of fencing at 239 Franklin Road, Harlansdale Farm. Emily, I think that's you.
It is. So the proposal includes installing 790 feet of horse fencing along the north entrance of the park at Harlansdale Farm. 68 feet of horse fencing will be close to the parking area by the Hayes House. There will be screening of mechanical equipment and 136 feet of fencing to fill in the gap of fencing near the interurban trail. The fencing will be white, 3 horizontal board fencing that is 48 inches in height. That will match the existing fencing that is seen on the property. While the proposal is unique in the fact that the fencing will not be fronting Franklin Road and it will not be surrounding a specific building, the intent of the guidelines is met by the application. The agrarian character of the site is being maintained and no new fencing designs are proposed with the installation of the 3-board horse fencing. For the screening, let me scroll to that page for us. Here we go. While the use of the horse fencing does maintain consistency with what is seen on the property, the guidelines recommend utilizing screening and landscaping to fully conceal the equipment. If both fencing and landscaping is utilized, then the landscaping should be positioned in front of the fencing to help fully screen the equipment. Since this is a city project, staff does not make a recommendation, but there are some potential conditions should the Historic Zoning Commission approve the proposal. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Lisa, the floor is yours. You have any comments, or?
I do not. Thank you, Emily. I think she summed up. Again, we're just adding additional horse fencing. We appreciate the commission's, last time we were here during the DRC, it mentioned about utilizing even on the north side to where we currently bush hog the north side twice a year, which where we have parking and then allow for it to grow, and then during a pilgrimage or larger events, or at least to maintain the grounds, we bush hog those 2 to 3 times a year. So we're going to try to utilize that. I think that was a suggestion by Commissioner Pierce to allow the growth to take place, but then that way you do not have to continue the fencing on around. We've shown a fencing that would continue the internal part of the whole park. So let us do this, if we may. We'd like to do this first, and then as we see the park develop or other aspects, then we would come back and review those plans in the future. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you. Are there any citizens who would like to comment on the application? Okay, seeing none. Do we have a motion?
Move
Mr.
for
Chair, I'd
approval.
like to move to approve with staff comments.
Okay, thank you. How about a second?
Second.
All right, stole your thunder. All right, any discussion? Okay.
So
All-
fencing,
Yeah,
is
go
it,
ahead.
is it wood?
It's wood.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm making sure that all the images were wood and making sure we weren't approving it just said 4 board, and I thought, oh, that could be anything. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm good, thank you.
It's all wood.
Great.
And it's just amazing the use that it's getting now.
It's receiving a lot.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
Thank you.
great. Okay, any further discussion? All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. Thank you.
Can
Thanks
I,
for coming.
can I take this opportunity to say to Lisa, thank you for your great leadership over our park district.
Oh, thank
Really
you so
appreciate
much,
it.
Commissioner. Thank you. Thank you for letting me come before you. Thank you to staff.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Okay, our next item is consideration of alterations window replacement at 137 4th Avenue North. And that's Elizabeth's.
Thank you. I'll let this load up on the screen here.
Sure.
So this proposal is to replace the windows on the first floor of the building at 137 4th Avenue North. Images of the windows have been provided. Staff is not able to determine the age or condition of the windows from the images. However, in comparing the windows and the information that was listed in the National Register listing, the windows appear to be the original windows. Additional information is provided within the application about the condition of a few of the windows. The proposed replacement window is an aluminum-clad wood window from the Pella Reserve line. The guidelines recommend the following for windows: to preserve and maintain historic windows and historic window openings. The information that has been provided for this application does not meet the recommendation of the guidelines for the replacement of windows, as the level of deterioration has not been shown. Rehabilitation of the windows is recommended by the guidelines instead of replacement. Staff recommends denial of the application based on the following grounds: to preserve and maintain historic windows and historic window openings. If the commission approves this application, staff has a series of recommendations. Thank you.
Thanks. And Madam Vice Chair, this is the one I'm going to step
know.
out and recuse myself
I
on.
think I
So,
knew that.
yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And so, next is the applicant, Laura De Pasquale.
Yes.
Yes.
We feel that the windows are in very poor condition, unfortunately. We spoke last time, we were unable to do any maintenance on this building just because of lack of funds. And I have Brittany Kaufman here. I'm going to let her speak a little bit more. She's got a little bit more expertise in this area, so.
So after assessing the windows.
You want to introduce yourself?
I'm
please?
Brittany Kaufman.
Okay, thank you, Brittany.
I was helping them with their window replacement. I work for Pella Windows, and I heard that they had approved their the historically accurate reserve series windows. We're looking at, if we were able to replace them, we're looking at using that same historically accurate window. Right now, they actually are in pretty rough condition. A lot of the sills have been damaged over the years. There's water coming into the house, causing more damage inside of the home. That's causing more rot and mold. The lead-based paint is flaking off into the children's play yard, and the aluminum wrap that you can see someone in the past has trimmed out the windows in aluminum. It's pulling away from the windows. They use nails to apply it. It's dusting, it's breaking down, it's deteriorating. So in order to repair these windows, it's going to cost the church a lot more money to repair them. It's also not going to bring the windows up to the current building codes either. They still would not be able to repair the weighted balance system in these windows, which eliminates them from being able to be opened and closed in the case of a fire. So I was recommending they replace them. Of course, that's up to you guys in the end, but it would fix a lot of these issues if they were able to replace them. Repairing these windows is something they've tried in the past and got taken advantage of in the past. Obviously, we're a company that is going to stand behind our work, so that would also give them a lifetime warranty on these windows. They would never have to spend money on painting these windows. They would never have to spend money on fixing these windows. They would be fully covered for the lifetime of the windows.
Okay, thank you. Are there any citizens here that would want to comment on this application? Okay. Would anyone like to entertain a motion on the application?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the replacement of the windows, and my reason for going against staff recommendation is based on the pictures that were presented as evidence. In my opinion, the evidence is clear regarding the damage and the long-term neglect of these windows, even potentially to being a hazard, as you were saying, with the paint chipping off and probably being lead paint as well. And additionally, the financial burden, as mentioned by the applicant, I think is a good basis for allowing the replacement windows.
Okay, we have a proper motion. Is there a second?
Just to clarify,
Yes.
Madam Chair, Commissioner, would you like to make your motion to approve with staff recommendations, or just motion to approve?
1 second, let me review the staff recommendations.
If I may, Pella's also donating these windows to the church as well.
Oh, good to know. Yes, with staff recommendations. Thank you.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, is there any discussion?
Well, I'll have to put in my 2 cents.
Yes.
I think historic windows are important. I mean, what I'm seeing here is a lot of neglect. There's a lot of neglect over the years. I doubt these windows have even been painted and touched in 25 years. And then when I saw the screen windows that were put on it, which would help to protect it, over the years, they haven't been maintained either. But what I see of these, I have to agree with staff. I do believe they are the original windows from 1910. And I can take anyone on any historic street in Franklin and show them windows that have lasted over 150 years. They do need maintenance, and sometimes they need to be repaired. And I believe this is a case where the windows would do very well with repair. What we see on the interior photographs, most of the windows seem to be in pretty sound condition. When you look on the exterior where the paint has chipped off all these years, you do see, especially on the bottom sashes, where there has been some water infiltration. All of that can be repaired. It can be stabilized with solvents and other chemicals that stabilize the wood. Then, liquid wood could be put back. The bottom Window sills could actually, or the rails could be repaired, they could actually be replaced. I mean, there's a lot that could happen here. I would say that if you were to do that, that the windows would need to go off-site so that the lead paint could be removed safely, since that's a concern with the children's playground. But I mean, all that could be taken care of safely. And then when the windows are put back, there are little pockets for where the weights slide in, and there are little doors that actually have a screw you can open up and actually easily reconnect a good wood rope to the weight and pulley system, and they'll work as good as new and meet all the fire code. So I don't see any reason these should be replaced. I think if we had a good inventory of, there may be a few sashes that are in worse condition than others, where the bottom sash could be remade. I mean, that might be a possibility, but we really don't have an inventory. All we're told is all the windows on the first floor, and I would like to have seen some kind of inventory of all the windows, how many there are. I mean, I didn't even see in the report how many windows we're talking about. So I think there needs to be either more investigation or leave that up to staff. If you can show you're repairing most of them, but you have some that just absolutely have to be remade. But I'd rather see them remade in wood in kind than replaced with a modern window. And that would be, those are my comments. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. I guess I would make an observation that I think the building is covered with aluminum siding. So that probably has, my experience is it has some issues of rot because that kind of traps the wood. Is there anyone else that has a comment? If not, we can vote on the motion as seconded, which would be to do a replacement of all the windows, which we don't know. Do you know how many?
There's 14 windows.
14 windows.
And if it's a concern about the street side, we're willing to, maintain the street side windows and replace the ones that are the most damaged ones, obviously the ones that are more exposed around the back and sides, the ones that are facing the playground that have that issue with the lead-based paint. We could replace those and maintain the front street side. And actually, if you look at the big window on the front of the house, it's already previously been replaced by someone in the past. It's actually not even an original window. It looks like the most original window because it has some detail at the top of the trim, but it's actually, upon further inspection, it's already been replaced in that opening. And like I said, someone's already trimmed out the windows with that aluminum. So it's already compromised in the historical value of it. Now, of course, the sashes and everything are still original. But yeah, you see the big picture window in the front. That's actually already been, that's not an original window. That's already been replaced in the past by somebody along the way. So there are some things that are not original to this home. We would just be doing the lower level. But yeah, we're open to just doing the back and sides, the ones that need it the most, and maintaining and repairing the street view side. Just trying to get whatever we can. Like I said, Pella's donating these windows. So for any repairs to be done, we would not be able to repair these original windows. She'd have to go somewhere else to find someone else to do this work, and that would come at a cost. And like I said, they've tried this in the past, and they've gotten taken advantage of by someone in the past who took their money and left. So we're just trying to do it the right way this time and save them from having all this cost, not just to repair them now, but down the road as well.
Okay. So I think let's vote on the motion as seconded, which is to replace all the windows. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We had 2 ayes, right? Okay. Opposed, no.
No.
No. Then it fails. Is there anybody that wants to offer an amendment or an amended motion or any comments?
I think for a comment, unfortunately, it's going to be a preservation project, that they need to be repaired to their like and kind, and it can be done.
I would say that coming to design review, to have a discussion and maybe encourage, I think most of it can be seen from public property, is that true?
Most of the windows. A lot of, if you look at the image right here, the right-hand side is kind of taken away from the street side with the shrubs in the way. On the left-hand side, you can see a little bit more.
So if they came, if they would be encouraged to come to design review, the commissioners could take a look, at least from the street, of how things look.
Yeah, I'd love to see just some straight-on pictures of every facade that you all provide.
And the windows on the rear.
Yeah, just show us a more comprehensive. The pictures here obviously show some deterioration in some issues, but
We've seen worse.
I have no idea where it is except for the one that I can see a little bit of the porch roof sticking out above it. But it'd be good to just see pictures of. I might offer up a deferral as a motion until our
Okay.
next meeting, which
Okay.
is July,
Okay.
and invite you all to come to design review, next week?
Is there anyone that would like to second the motion to defer to the next regular meeting?
I'll second, Madam Chair.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no? Okay. So that will be, and you can, staff will work with you if y'all come to design review on what would be needed. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And would you all tell Mr. Denton, somebody, there he is.
That was nice of Pella. I said that was nice of Pella.
I knew as soon as we had a salesman giving the presentation, it's over.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair.
Thank you. Was it going out there or not?
No.
Well, it was deferred.
Okay.
To the next regular meeting.
Great, thank you. All right, we are on to consideration of alterations and addition principal structure at 112 Lewisburg Avenue. Emily?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the proposal includes the following alterations. It's the changes to the trim around the windows, doors, and the brackets around the front door, changes to the enclosed porch on the front left elevation, adding windows to the left elevation facing the driveway, and adding a roof over the rear deck. For the trim alterations, during the removal of the aluminum siding of the building, the original trim was found. The intent is to have the trim around the windows, doors, and the front door along the brackets match what was found under the siding. The utilization of the design of the trim around the windows and doors and the updated wood brackets is supported by the guidelines as it was there historically. For the front porch alteration, the removal of the aluminum siding from the building revealed the lack of original siding left on the portion of the building which is the enclosed porch area. This area is located on the left front corner of the building and then wraps to the side of the building facing the driveway. The intent is to mimic the 1987 photo of the building by restoring the porch to read as a porch that has been enclosed. The previous COA approved the restoration of the front of the building by removing the non-historic siding. It is unknown how the front of the building appeared before 1987, but the proposal to have the front porch enclosed is seen within the district. The existing front porch has a single double-hung window on the front facade and two double-hung windows facing the driveway. The proposal will have 3 double-hung windows on the front elevation and 3 double-hung windows on the side elevation facing the driveway. While the guidelines do not support enclosing porches on the front facade, this porch was previously enclosed currently and is based on the photos provided within the application. The utilization of windows and matching window light patterns is supported by the guidelines. For the window additions, the proposal includes the installation of 3 windows on the left facade, on the left elevation facing the driveway. The windows will have the same window light pattern to the other windows on the building. For the rear deck roof addition, The COA was issued in December 2023, and it approved an addition that equated to 49.94% of the principal building's historic footprint. With the proposed covering of the rear deck, a roof extension of 210 square feet would equate to an addition of 61.46% of the historic footprint of the building. The guidelines recommend designing the size of an addition to be subordinate to that of the historic building. The building footprint of an addition should not exceed 50% of the building footprint of the historic portions of the building. The proposed covering of the rear deck with a roof will add 210 square feet to the building footprint, which exceeds the design guidelines recommendation by 11.46%. Staff recommends denial of the porch roof addition on the following grounds: that one should design the size of addition to be subordinate to that of the historic building, and the footprint should not exceed 50% of the historic footprint. Staff does recommend approval of the matching of the historic window and door trim, the restoration of the wood brackets flanking the front door, the front left porch alteration, and window alterations with conditions. Thank you.
Thank you. Is the applicant here? I do not see Ms. Lombard.
Oh, no.
So in that case, we would have motion to deny, because the applicant's not here. So there's a motion to deny.
Is it possible to just skip over this one and see if they come?
If the chair would like.
Yeah,
to
I think
hold
we
it
can
till
do
the end.
that.
That's
Yeah.
what staff would suggest.
We'll hold till the end and then see
Okay.
if she,
Do we need a motion to move that to the end of the agenda?
No, the chair can.
Okay.
I think I will just exercise my authority, Tyler, to move it to the end of the agenda. Okay, all right, we'll move on. Thank you for your fine staff report. I appreciate it. All right, we're on to the next item, consideration of alterations railing at 104 South Margin Street. And that is Elizabeth.
All right, thank you. So this proposal includes the removal of an existing wood railing and the installation of aluminum railing on the ramp that is located on the front and rear elevations of 104 South Margin Street. The ramp and railing are visible to the front, are visible from First Avenue South as the ramp starts at the front of the building and wraps around to the rear. The age of the ramp and rails is believed to be from the 2000s. The applicant is requesting to replace the rails due to deficiencies that were found during an inspection. The aluminum railing that is proposed will be a 36-inch tall rail with a 1 5/8" cap on the existing concrete ramp. The proposed color of the railing is in Quaker bronze. The material and design of the proposed railing are simple and appropriate and are seen throughout the district. Additionally, the ramp will be screened by plantings, which is encouraged by the guidelines. Staff recommends approval with conditions. Thank you.
Thank you. Is the applicant here for this item? Good evening. Thanks for being here.
I know you're not familiar with us. It seems like everybody's here you're familiar with. So I'm Therese. This is my husband, Rick. And last name is Kwok.
Great.
Aloha.
Would you all get the mic a
Oh,
little?
just come a little closer, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you.
I'm Therese. This is my husband, Rick. We thank you for hearing us. We're Aloha, we're originally from Hawaii, and we've been enjoying Franklin for almost 10 years now. What do we need to say? Because I'm not sure.
Just if you've heard the staff's report, if there's anything else you want to add, you are more than welcome.
You think we're good?
Okay,
Unless you have questions.
very good. We'll let you know if we have questions. Are there any citizens who wish to comment on this application? Okay, nobody's storming the podium. So do we have a motion?
I would make the motion to approve with staff conditions.
Thank you, Mary. Is there a
Second that.
Thank you, Tyler. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, unanimous. There you go. Come back and see us again.
Yes, well, we probably will. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you all. Okay, we are on to consideration of partial demolition and addition accessory structure at 231 Miles Manor Court. And this is Elizabeth.
Okay. So this proposal is for the circa 1940 frame garage located to the left of the principal building that is visible from Miles Manor Court. The proposal is to alter the frame garage structure, includes partial demolition and addition to the rear and left elevations. The proposal includes demolishing the rear and right supporting walls of the accessory structure to make way for an addition. The addition will wrap around the rear and right elevations of the structure. This will leave the left elevation, which is visible from the street, intact. The existing structure is 590 square feet, and the addition that is proposed will be 428 square feet. The new footprint of the garage will equate to 1,018 square feet. The addition will be compatible with the historic garage in design and form, but will be clearly identifiable through the offset that is proposed. The orientation, form, and size of the addition that is being proposed is appropriate. On the rear elevation, 2 new windows are proposed that were discussed during the DRC meeting that the applicant attended. The materials, exterior finishes, and detailing of the addition that is proposed are appropriate. Staff recommends approval with conditions.
Thank you. Amanda?
Hey guys, I'm Amanda McCreary, Chisel Workshop. I'm gonna try to get through this, but Ben's here. If I can't finish, he'll be able to answer some questions. So I was at DRC and we talked about this. I'm get everybody up to speed quickly because I don't have much of a voice. The footprint, we're trying to maintain some showing of that with this new portion of the addition where we are putting that third bay back into the rear. We are out of square on the left side, about 2 3/4, I think. We're gonna work with it. That's still a lot, over 8 feet, but we are maintaining that left side elevation. Our right side elevation changes all the way to, we're out close to 9 inches over 8 feet. That's a lot. It's too much to overcome, as you guys have seen it too from site visits. It's pretty intense. From a proportion standpoint, we're maintaining the soffits on the left side that we can. We are maintaining that depth and that design too throughout the structure. The garage doors are in proportion with what the openings are now to just kind of give it a nod to the historical garage that was there. I know one of the questions is the rear windows. Excuse me. I'm not contagious. It's a long story. The rear windows, we did add 2 rear windows, and we do feel that looks better. It gives it a little bit more sense of a scale. And then we also included some garage door specs in your package as well, because I know that was a question that came up.
Great. Okay, thank you. All right, do we have any citizens who wish to comment on this application? Oh, we do. Okay, come right forward.
I'm sorry, I didn't fill out the form.
It's okay. If you'll just tell us your name and address.
Yes, my name is Doug Revere. I'm a neighbor. I live at 108 Mayberry Court, and I just wanted to come and I stand in support of this project. Our backyard looks weird. We look right at it, right at this garage, and I applaud the team for what they've done. There's only maybe one other family that this would impact more than the Reveres, and we just wanted to stand and support. The family that owns that house is just beautiful. They take such magnificent care of that historic structure, and we're very grateful to be their neighbors. So I just wanted to come and show my support and say we're in favor. So
Great. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Okay, any other citizens who would like to comment? Okay, seeing none, do we have a motion? Ma'am.
I'll make a motion to approve with staff conditions.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Lisa got that one. All right, any discussion? Look at us. No,
Well,
yeah.
it's a great project.
It is.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah, yeah. And just because I always talk about demolition, I know this has the word partial demolition in it, but I really do see this as an addition. But I
Right.
appreciate you submitting the engineer letter.
Yes.
Any further comments or discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you,
Unanimous,
guys.
thank you, feel better. Okay, all right, we are on to consideration of site alterations driveway at 419 Boyd Mill Avenue. And Elizabeth, this is yours.
Right, so this proposal is for the replacement of the existing concrete driveway with a cobblestone ribbon driveway and curbing treatment. The proposed material for the driveway is a reclaimed rhino granite cobblestone. Within the ribbon driveway, the center strip will utilize planting. The footprint of the driveway will not be altered and is not expanding. At the end of the driveway, behind the home, a decorative inlay design is proposed within the cobblestone. The guidelines recommend the following: to design driveways to follow historic patterns, ribbon or Hollywood driveways may be appropriate. Use durable materials that were historically typical for driveways, such as gravel, concrete, bricks, and asphalt. The introduction of a new material that is not typical for driveways in the district and the utilization of a ribbon driveway pattern is not appropriate. The age of the home predates the ribbon driveway, which became popular during the 1920s. The materials and patterns of the proposed driveway are not typical of the Boyd Mill Avenue Historic District. Staff recommends denial of the application based on the following grounds: to design driveways to follow historic patterns, and to use durable materials that were historically typical for driveways, such as gravel, concrete, bricks, and asphalt. If the commission were to approve this application, staff has a few recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. All right. The applicant, there's several. Come forth. Yeah, that's okay.
Back. I think at the DRC, suggested that we might bring a few samples of the reclaimed cobblestone.
Yeah, I think that's great.
If you want to see them any closer than that, I'd be happy to let him pass them around. And then with our design team is Ann Day with Day Rick Landscape Architects. Our architect Steve Durden came as well.
Great.
Discuss and answer any questions you may have.
Okay.
I'll look at them.
Yeah, I was going to say, if any of the commissioners want to see them, just don't throw them at us.
I don't know that I could throw them. They're a black and white speckled granite, and they're reclaimed. I tried to bring some that kind of have a range of the.
Where'd you find them? Where'd you get them from?
So these come from New York. There were also some considered from Cincinnati. We
goodness.
tried to get some from Second Avenue in Nashville, where they've been, after that bombing back a few years ago, they were doing, kind of renovating the streets down there, and there were plenty of those to be had as well.
Yeah, great. Good.
You may be familiar with them.
Thank you.
Great.
Beautiful.
Okay.
So as Mike said, I'm Ann Day, landscape architect, representing the McDowells at 419 Boyd Mill. Just wanted to just quickly go over the plan. We are proposing a cobblestone driveway to replace the asphalt driveway. We are including a cobblestone curb. We are including a planting strip in the center of the driveway, and also a cobblestone patterned inlay. You wouldn't mind going up or down to, so I can see the plan. Yeah, there's a cobblestone inlay there near the garage that's kind of a different paving pattern within the cobblestone. So at the DRC meeting, we heard your thoughts. And although according to staff, cobbles may not be period to the home, staff mentioned that materials used for driveways during this time would have been a durable material. We would like to include cobblestones as a historic and durable material. We consider maybe cobblestones might even be more durable than any of the materials mentioned during that time period, so we would hope that maybe it might be considered as a durable material. We also heard that everyone loved the cobblestones. When we mentioned it, everyone was like, oh, cobblestones are beautiful. So we all know that we love cobblestones. While historic, the house is not in the historic register, which we talked about at the DRC. And so we believe it's maybe not as critical to be of the period. So again, maybe cobblestones would be okay. The house does have some stone elements on it. There's a stone wall out front, as you can see in the pictures of the existing. And there's also stone around the foundation of the house as well. So we wouldn't be introducing a new material to the property. The cobblestone curbs will converge into the side of the stone walls, And we've drawn it on is this the most, yeah, the plan, there's a enlargement of how we intend to treat the cobblestones. Oh, shoot, on the plan. Michelle was in charge of so yeah, down there,
It's
so.
on the other end of the picture there. That right there, so it shows convergence.
Yeah. So there, we stopped we pulled the cobblestone off the sidewalk. So now the cobblestone drive is within the property bounds. And the cobblestone curbs will just die into the walls on either side. So that would be a nice way to kind of finish that out. Also, the cobblestone driveway is going to be replacing the exact location of the current asphalt driveway. So there's not going to be a change in the width or dimensions of the actual driveway. We also found some other places in Franklin that have cobblestone, some precedent images. Some are old, some are new actually, but we thought that was nice to be able to see the context of the materials in Franklin. We believe that seeing cobblestone in a number of locations in downtown Franklin establishes its context throughout the town, historical or not, and it would not be out of context to see it repeated again at the McDowell's historic home. Cobblestone streets are such a historic material. A lot of cobblestone streets in our area have been covered up with asphalt over time, so we don't actually know how much cobblestone was in downtown Franklin at one point in time. Who knows, the McDowell's driveway may have cobblestones under it. And lastly, historic old world charm is what we are going for. I can't think of anything more old world and charming than cobblestone. The McDowells have spared no expense renovating their home and garden over the last 8 years. Their goal all along has been to restore this beautiful home in keeping with Franklin's historical codes. This is the last piece of the project that will give it that historical charm that we know downtown Franklin appreciates so much.
Okay, great. All right, are there any citizens who wish to speak to this application? Okay, seeing none, do I have a motion?
I have a motion to approve with staff recommendations.
Okay. Is there a
I'll
sec-
second.
Thanks. And if you wouldn't mind, since that's going against staff's recommendation, I think we need to say why why
Yes.
that motion's made that way.
My reasoning is I've driven around primarily the historic neighborhoods to look at what materials were in driveways. A ribbon driveway, I know this, what is this, 1915 house? I lived in East Nashville in a 1923 house, and I had a ribbon driveway. Besides that, looking at driveway materials in our historic district, we have everything from brick, pea gravel, aggregate, asphalt, all types of different materials. So I don't see this being a stretch from other different materials. If everything was all concrete, maybe have a different way I would look at it. And that's really the crux of it.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Well, I would say, looking at the one on Fair Street, I don't think when you drive down that street, your eye goes, my goodness, and that was my concern. Would it blend in with the street view? I think it will. And that's I would be supporting it for what's stated and also for that reason.
Yeah, I have parked in front of that house on Fair Street a lot, and I don't
too.
think I've ever noticed that it had a cobblestone driveway.
Right.
So,
And to add my other thought that I derailed on, when you're looking at this driveway, the topography of the house, it's not a driveway that sits up. So when you drive down the street, unless you're right at the driveway and you make a turn to the left to look at it, you're really not going to see it. So it's not going to be something that's going to stand out as opposed to other driveways on the street.
okay. Any other comments? Okay. All in favor of the motion to approve the proposal as submitted with staff conditions, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, unanimous. Thank you all. All right, thanks.
Yay, cobblestone.
Okay, on to the next item. Consideration of alterations, new construction at 1835 William Campbell Court, Lot Number 2, Historic Magnolia Hall subdivision. And that is Elizabeth.
Okay, so this application proposes alterations to the Queen Anne-inspired house on Lot 2 in the Magnolia Hall subdivision. The COA for this house was approved and issued in June of 2023. This application previously came before the Historic Zoning Commission at the May meeting, where it was deferred to the June Historic Zoning Commission meeting. The applicant is refining the designs and elements found on the home, and this will be the first lot in the neighborhood, and the left elevation will front Boyd Mill Avenue. The applicant proposes a series of changes on the front elevation. And the proposed changes on this front elevation contribute to the architectural detailing and are in keeping with the Queen Anne style. The proposed alterations complement and do not visually compete with the character of the historic Magnolia Hall. So we'll move on to the left elevation, where a series of changes was also proposed, and we'll call out the one that has an issue with the guidelines. So a series of window alterations. The guidelines recommend maintaining the rhythm and spacing of the window and door openings of adjacent structures. The applicant has incorporated feedback from the Design Review Committee and the previous staff conditions on this elevation. The alterations to the window rhythm and spacing, light pattern, trim, and detailing are in keeping with the Queen Anne style and are changes supported by the guidelines, except for the set of double windows on the rear gable on this elevation, which alters the rhythm and spacing found on the left elevation. So we'll move on to the rear elevation. And the proposed changes to the rear elevation are simplified and appropriate. These proposed alterations complement and do not visually compete with the character of the historic Magnolia Hall. On the right elevation, a series of alterations is proposed, and the guidelines recommend maintaining the rhythm, spacing of windows and door openings of the adjacent structures. The alterations to the window pattern, trim, and detailing are in keeping with the Queen Anne style and are positive changes. Staff recommends approval with conditions. And just aside, staff would like for the commission to clarify one of the staff conditions proposed, as it wasn't, if they are accepted, to clarify that the double window is on the left elevation in the staff conditions. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome, Jennifer.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. Any comments from you?
No, I think we've worked with staff to try and get this to a place where we can reapprove it and get the windows on that left elevation to where we're happy with them. I think was one of y'all's conditions that we either split those windows or remove one, because I can't split them. I've got a safe room at the back of that plan.
The condition is that the double window in the rear gable should be separated to reflect the window rhythm and spacing of the gables on this elevation.
It would either need to be a single window or the double. We can't split it.
Okay.
So that would be kind of my only comment.
Okay.
I'd ask y'all to take into consideration. I think we were fine with everything else. We do have some double windows on the other side, but I understand their position on this. And I think we're open to that adjustment.
Great, thank you. All right, are there any citizens who wish to comment on this application? Seeing none, do we have a motion?
I'll make motion to approve with staff's conditions and the single window option
On the left elevation?
on the left
Okay,
elevation.
do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mary. Any discussion? All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It's unanimous. Okay.
Good
We're-
job.
Yeah.
It looks good.
Thanks
We're
for working
almost
with us to
done.
get
We're
it there.
rotating back to what was item number 8.
Y'all moved very fast tonight.
I was going to say, I think our speed got you.
It got me, yes.
But
I
we
learned
kicked
a
you to the
lesson.
end. Staff has given the staff report on item number 8, which is consideration of alterations and additions to the principal structure at 112 Lewisburg Avenue, and we pass this to the tail of the docket for the applicant. So, and they are here, and we're glad to have them. So, Jennifer, do you have any comments? And if you
Yeah.
want staff to recap I'm happy to have them do that again.
No, that's fine. I've
Okay.
read through their report, unless y'all would like that to happen. I think the only thing that I would add is just that we did take the feedback at the DRC to try and make that roof feel less massive if y'all do choose to go against the staff approval, which we understand it's over the 50%, so we understand why they didn't want us to approve that. But we did try to take that feedback into consideration to make that roof and that back addition feel a little less massive by dropping it down and making it go underneath that overall roof instead of being part of one large roof.
Great.
So hopefully that helps a little bit with how it feels.
Good, thank you. All right, are there any citizens who wish to comment? Seeing none, do we have a motion? And if anybody wants us to recap what the staff's recommendation was, I'm glad to have them do that.
Can staff remind me what the outbuilding approval percentage was? Do you have that somewhere?
Of the accessory structure, we can pull that up.
Okay, thank you.
I think it was right at 50% of the house with the addition, or just under.
So that, Mr. Chair, that would make it over also. Is that right? If you're basing it on an addition that's over and then,
Yeah, now the addition that the accessory structure was approved on was at 49.94%, as I recall.
Okay.
And so that accessory structure was approved based on that change. And now they're asking to increase it to 61.46%, if I've got my numbers right.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
adding a roof over
Yeah.
the
Roof.
deck that
Got
was
it.
already there.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's not really changing the footprint of anything,
Yeah.
just a roof.
Emily, looks like you've got a,
Well, dang.
you looked ready.
The old
Okay,
version?
great, there it is.
Yeah, Elizabeth has it pulled up that the detached garage was approved, and it's 1,320 square feet, and it's 48% of the proposed main footprint, main house footprint. So, the addition was 911 square feet, and it was like 49.94% of the historic footprint. And so adding the covered porch, I think it's 210 square feet, and so it put it over to like 61% of the historic footprint.
Right.
Yes, I would make a motion to approve as submitted, and I'll give my reasoning for going against staff. I wanted a reminder of the accessory structure because this is a larger lot. But I think I've said it before, I'm not a fan of people double dipping if they've already gotten a blessing on something bigger for an accessory and then come back and ask for a second blessing on the house. I'm like, that's too much. But because the accessory structure sits within the original bounds of all the guidelines, and they're asking to cover a porch on a larger lot, I think that's reasonable. And then I don't have any issues with the enclosed porch or the window additions that I've seen look okay to me.
Okay, all right. We have a motion to.
Second.
Thank you. All right. Any discussion?
I'm willing to go against our guidelines on this because I really think the front of the house is going to read as more like it was built than it does now when you get it to shimmy out of the aluminum siding and the improvements to the side porch. So given the size of the lot, I appreciate our guidelines, but they are guidelines, so
Right.
I'll be voting for it.
Okay, any other comments?
And it's more aesthetically pleasing, and actually going back with some of the architectural details. I'm glad whoever installed the aluminum siding did not tear out all of that, so we're very fortunate to have it. I might be more resistant to vote yes if this were like an enclosed living space. And I'm assuming that deck already existed.
Yeah, the deck was part of the original addition footprint,
So
but it's
basically,
just uncovered.
it's just a cover over an existing deck.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
I agree. If it was conditioned space, that'd be totally different, but covering a porch, I'm not concerned about that overage.
Yeah.
It's existing structure.
Any other comments or discussion? Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, unanimous.
Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
Good job.
Okay, is there any other business? I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So
Move to
moved.
adjourn.
Thank you. Okay, well, no, Michael gets that one.
Second.
All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that's unanimous. Thank you. At 6:00.